Joining me now to discuss Alyse Adamson, former federal prosecutor. Can you talk about this in the context of Cuomo being the latest Democrat to have this flag waved in front of them of like, hey, we're probably going to investigate you? CNN's Stephen Collinson was writing this, that critics warn that while Trump claims he's de-weaponizing law enforcement, he's weaponizing it as never before. I can't imagine what it's like to be a prosecutor in the middle of all this.
Yeah, Audie, it optically does not look good because there's the legal reality, which we can discuss in a second, but then there is like the optic reality. This is the same Justice Department that was just in turmoil and lost career prosecutors because they dismissed the Eric Adams indictment a few months ago. And that was a case that had been fully investigated, indicted by the grand jury. That's just normal people who find probable cause. They're not, political folks who have an axe to grind. And the Department of Justice saw fit to get that indictment dismissed. And now we hear that the same Department of Justice is seeking to investigate the leading candidate for the New York City mayor. So it just doesn't, it's not a good look, as the kids would say.
I want to turn, speaking of the kids, I want to turn to this trial of Sean Combs, also out of New York. The latest witness to testify is the parent of Cassie Ventura, who of course has been at the center of all of this, his ex-girlfriend. So on Tuesday, she told the court about a couple of incidents, including the time that Sean Combs basically, she claims, threatened to release sex tapes and demanded that the mom pay $20,000. And she also talked about actually taking her photos of her daughter for bruises to kind of document a time that she was harmed. First, can we talk about this idea of him demanding money? Because fundamentally, it's RICO charges, right? He's being accused of being the head of kind of a criminal enterprise that did this like trafficking and sexual abuse. So is the money significant?
Yeah, I think it's the conduct that's significant. I mean, what we saw there, it's blackmail, it's kind of like an extortion attempt. But what we are seeing is this pattern of conduct from Combs controlling Cassie. Like you said the keyword threat, because remember, prosecutors have to demonstrate for the sex trafficking charge that there was coercive conduct, that it was not consensual. And now we have Combs reaching out to Cassie's mother, blackmailing her. And I think that is really key evidence there. It's also evidence that could go to that RICO charge. We were talking before we came on air about I'm not necessarily seeing the RICO right now, but that $20,000, Audie, it was paid to one of Sean Combs's companies. So it's no longer Sean Combs, the individual, acting. Now we're bringing in the company, which we have to. The enterprise. We have to prove a corrupt enterprise.
The other thing, I've been waiting to hear about this for a while. Kid Cudi on the witness stand. He was the rapper who also dated Cassie Ventura for a short time. And I recall in the reporting from the New York Times, he confirmed to them that Combs had blown up his car, I think. What information are prosecutors trying to show?
Yeah, again, this is one of the more shocking allegations, and he has confirmed it. I look forward to hearing his testimony on the stand.
Right.
I think they used a Molotov cocktail, probably arson, because remember, there's these predicate offenses that need to be proved in the RICO, arson being one of them, so they need to bring out that testimony. I'd also like to know whether or not other people were involved, is the allegation, because I don't think Sean Combs put the Molotov cocktail in on his own, because they need to prove this enterprise and other people were acting illegally at Combs's direction. I want to hear what threats were said to Kid Cudi. The reporting was that there was this meeting after the car blew up, and apparently Combs said, what car? What vehicle? So prosecutors are going to need to elicit more and make a more fulsome account for the RICO.
I feel like it's not like I'm going into the weeds randomly, because what the prosecutors want RICO, and prosecutors love a RICO charge, right? Because they get to say this big important person is head of a criminal enterprise and using all of the tentacles of that enterprise to commit crimes. And what we're hearing now is this, Kid Cudi being able to talk about a threat of violence. We're going to be hearing about Cassie Ventura's mom talking about this blackmail concept, right? And the money going to the company. Why, to you, is it still not totally clear how the RICO element comes into play?
Yeah, I think it's, so to be clear, I see where prosecutors are going with this, but remember,
they're trying to show like he could use his company and his power to do what he wanted.
That's correct. But in a RICO conspiracy, you have to demonstrate that it's Sean Combs and more than one person. You see that in the indictment. It says individuals known and unknown. They mentioned senior leadership in the Combs enterprise who were involved in bringing about this criminal activity. And I think prosecutors are getting there. It's just like a slow drip of testimony. They need to demonstrate that other individuals were also engaging in this conduct. And again, they're getting to the line. We've heard some.
But in the meantime, the defense just has to prove over and over again with whomever, you wanted to be there, you were into this, whatever the this is. It feels like a very kind of different approach.
That's right, that it's consensual, and that this is really Sean Combs, the man, acting out of a toxic, abusive relationship, but he is not sitting atop some kind of criminal enterprise.
All right, we're going to be watching this testimony more over the next couple of days. Alyse, thank you, as always, for explaining it.
Thanks so much, Audie.